Welcome to 1943. Let's just dive into the usual introduction. Well, for this time for 1943, I'll just have a bit of a recap of 1942 just to review it quickly. My usual comments again about the difficulties, where we are right now in our understanding of how they impact our play. The core composition has changed a bit. Compared to, well, it's the same units, but we have some different names, different commanders. And the usual kills by unit class, which and total losses, and kills by, this one kills by unit. People love seeing this because they like to follow their own units. And also the kills by unit class. I'll also take a look at the accumulated kills by unit class. That's actually better to look at than the annual. But this one tells us the annual. This one tells us how it's gone in accumulated wise, and it's better when you really want to see how this compares to Manstein and Rommel. Also, experience per unit, very important to look at. Some positive things to note, but also some difficulties that I have been become more and more aware of. And the last one is we do take a look at how the prestige has developed. As you all know, well, if you have played the campaign, you know that 1942 is a step up from 1939 to 41. This 1931 to 41 is really kindergarten. It's very easy to play, even on this difficulty level. It's not that big a challenge. It starts getting harder at the end of 41, but not massively. What really makes 1942 so difficult is that some of the battles, I would say, are pretty easy. Sevastopol, yeah, it's a hard battle, but it has been, people have done a lot to solve this, and it's not that hard to do anymore. And the battles leading to the Stalingrad are also not that challenging. There are 4 battles. Stalingrad docks are hard battles. Escape from Stalingrad is also hard, but when you know that how to handle it, it's not that difficult. The one that really just is completely off the scale here is Tatsinskaya, and that's because we're transitioning into heavy equipment, but the Soviets have received their heavy equipment before we have, and they're very experienced at Tatsinskaya. So our tanks are completely inadequate when we get to Tatsinskaya. I have to rely on the Stuks, and they can barely do the job on this difficulty level. On 4 stars, they're much stronger. Again, that's a big step from 3 to 4 stars on a lot of the units, because of the extra initiative you get at 4 stars. It really makes a big difference. So 42 definitely a lot tougher than 41, and 39 to 41. If I remember, 43 should be harder than 42, but also many of the battles in 43 have been played so many times that they have become largely solved and not so difficult anymore. The difficulties are, again, Rommel is not a concern anymore at all. It's just don't burn too much prestige. Initially it was a big problem, of course, we know that, but it quickly stops being a problem, and we just have to manage our prestige carefully. And what we do is we save up prestige by not getting ourselves completely killed on the soft cap, and then at some point we don't care anymore. We just don't think about earning prestige anymore, and that'll be somewhere in 44. We just say we have what we need, and we just put everything to maximum strength and the soft cap down to 20%, and smooth sailing. At the end it becomes easier, because when we have stronger units, it's also easier to win the battles. Manstein and Field Marshal are the difficult ones. Don't underestimate Manstein. Field Marshal may seem like the biggest problem, but Field Marshal wouldn't be such a big problem if we didn't have Manstein. It's Manstein that requires that I have experienced units. So if I didn't have Manstein, I wouldn't be too concerned about Field Marshal. And so they work together, and they're the ones that are really giving us a hard time. And I would say long-term Field Marshal is the biggest problem. It was not a problem in the beginning, of course, and as you can also see, You can get units to 2 stars very fast. Even 3 stars is not a big deal, but 3 to 4 stars, that's where it starts really hurting. And what we do is, of course, for Manstein we have to use overstrength, and then overstrength requires experience, and also you need experience to handle Manstein. So that's what we do, and here we have to gain experience. That means we rotate, but also we make sure we get experience. And as you will also see from the units, that there are some actions will get you more XP than other actions. One of the things I have discovered is that farming Katyushas with infantry is a great way to get experience. For example, I will definitely have to do that more than I have done before. It's one of the regrets I have from 42 that I didn't do more farming, because some of the, especially infantry, they are not gaining a lot of XP. Our core composition at the moment, as you can see, we are getting a new tank in 43, Murphy, and we have made a few reassignments here. Well, some new commanders. I think B-Bor came in and requested the that's the issue 120. Was it 122? I don't remember. No, it's a 122. It's 122 millimeter. And we also got Rogue in to take one of the artillery pieces. Again, you can see the ones that are yellow are available. So the SE tank for 1944 and 45 and the mouse that we get very late are still available. I don't blame anybody if you don't want to play the mouse, but they should be at least getting some. Yeah, I'm not sure. 2 stars perhaps on this one. The one we get in 44, 3 stars I would say. I think, at least I hope, that I can get maybe 4 or 5 tanks to 5 stars, but I don't think these latecomers can get to 5 stars, and the infantry is a serious concern. Let's have a look at kills. You can see that I have added now 42 to the diagrams, and you can see that again it's as always Ole Deer who is in the front here, but we have worked up quite a few kills on Friedrich Pine, at least something like 300. I think he has. It's got to be more than that. I don't remember. I think it's maybe even close to 400. Wirnsberger as well has done a lot of killing. That's what we need, because he's important. The latecomers will always get a higher priority, and otherwise you can see that we have most of our infantry are above 1,000. So we are definitely in territory where they can get the 3rd heroes. So we have 3rd heroes coming up for these guys. Tanks, yeah, Broderick managed to get more than 700 kills in 1941. That's pretty impressive. Sorry, in 1942, 700 kills with one tank. That's, when I saw it, I went like, wow, that's a lot. And also the others are, many of them are killing like 500. Yeah, maybe some. I was actually a bit low scoring here, but it doesn't matter. Just the tanks will get above 2,000 kills, most of them, so we'll get 3 heroes in all of them. The question is, of course, whether we can get 5 stars. Artillery kills, again, a lot of kills on artillery. It's the intention. The miscellaneous units, the anti-tank guns are all getting close to 1,000, but they have been. I can see from my files that they're not doing as well as they did on Manstein, and the heroes are also not as good. So I need to focus more on them. For the AA, the 2 mobile haven't gotten particularly many kills. John Walk has a lot, and Lacanis is where he can get his 3rd hero. John Walk is close to 4 stars, by the way. For the air units, yeah, not much to say. You can see Hector can't keep up with Rodel anymore. So Rodel will of course continue going nuts. Fighters, I am not concerned about them, because they should get at least these 4 guys should get 3 heroes. You can see casualties. Again, we're doing better than we did on Manstein. Of course, we're doing in 42, and again, I think it's because I've gotten better at it. But also because I'm more concerned about taking losses, I know how expensive it is to take them. So, but definitely we're doing a lot better than we did on Manstein. Keeping consistent casualties lower than Manstein. That's a good thing. Units. So your kills by unit classes. You can see that on that's Rommel-Manstein-Field Marshal. We started out in 39 killing less with infantry than on Manstein. That I did not like. But killing more on with artillery, and then when we got to 40, still a little bit below, well above on artillery, and then the Stuka started showing the pattern that I wanted. I did not want to just have the Stuka sit and take kills, because kills, that means XP, and if you just kill everything with Stukas, you're neglecting XP, or you are not getting XP on your on other units. So deliberately, especially through 1940 and 41, the Stukas killed much less than they did on Manstein. Artillery kills, you can see, consistently kills a lot more. We like that. It's free kills, and also of course we can get 3 heroes on artillery. You can also see that in 1942 that infantry and tanks and artillery are all overperforming. And I'm going to look at also the accumulated, which I think comes now. This deliberately is shown on the same x-axis on every in every graph, just to show how they increase. And it's the accumulated kills are at the end of each year, so you can say that for 1942 it's the end of 1942 that we count, and of course 39 is at the end of 39. So you can see that we had less kills on infantry in 1939, and also in 1940 when we accumulate. Also in 41 we had less, but now we have gone above in 42. Infantry kills have gone higher than they were in Manstein. I want that. I want my infantry to kill a lot. Tanks also now higher. They've been higher the whole time than on Manstein. And artillery higher. You can see that if you sum everything up, you can see that we actually have more kills overall. The total score, except for the Stukas and fighters, we have more kills on Rommel-Manstein-Field Marshal than we had on Manstein, and that's because we are killing more. We're doing more farming, but we are also in many battles we are killing stuff that we didn't used to kill, because when I played it on Manstein I didn't think I could. A good example is Sedan. Sorry, not Sedan. Arras, where on Manstein I was very cautious, but here I learned how to do it in a way where you get a lot more kills, and that should show up here. It doesn't actually. Well, it does here on tanks in 40. So that this could easily be Arras giving us that. Experience, much more important than kills. If you look at, you have, for example, here you can see Friedrich Pine. He actually went above 3 stars by the end of 1942, so good thing. And you can see how much he gained during 1942, 234 XP. He started with I think it must have been 70. So he earned 234 and ended at 304. And that's, again, it's a lot. You can do that and you can gain that much in 1 year. So again, those first 2 stars are easy, but then from 3 to 4 stars it's just a slow crawl. You can also see Wiensberger earned a lot. Ole Dier managed to go above 4 stars, the only one so far, but all the other infantry have scored like around 30 to 40, 30 to 50 XP. And if we continue at that rate, they're not going to make it to 5 stars, or barely going to make it to 5 stars. I hope they can, because the battles are longer and there are more units deployed, so I hope I can get them to 5 stars, but it's not going to be will be towards the end of the campaign before they reach 5 stars. Another one you can see here, Broderick, 283 XP in one single year, from starting in at Vitebsk to 2 stars at the end of 1942, now almost 3 stars. What else to say? Some of them a little bit slow. Some of them as slow as the infantry, but I think they should be okay, especially the SC infantry and in combat all the time. And also the style changes in 43, because we get, as you will see, we get tigers across the board now. Everybody becomes a tiger. You don't bring a knife to a gunfight. And the tigers can go into action without significantly suppressing the enemy, because they have actually got the initiative to do it. So this should get more XP on the tanks, I hope. Artillery, you can see, it annoys the crap out of me that it's so imbalanced. They're all the ones that had the time, they went to maximum, and the 2 Drache battalions are a little bit slow, but who cares? Biber went to 3 stars. I have no concerns with infantry, artillery XP. For the miscellaneous units, maybe the most positive to say is that the Stuks went quite high. They gained a lot of XP throughout 1942, and Burgess just about to pass 4 stars. So, and these guys will also. And as I said already, if they are lagging a little bit in XP when we get to 44, we can let them run as artillery for some battles in the mode that allows artillery. Then we can get them lifted to 5 stars, so I'm not concerned about them. For the AA, we actually have Bumper above 4 stars now. I just realized it when I opened the 43 game files. So, but massive difference between Bumper and Regis, who they've been deployed in pretty much the same battles, but just for some reason, Bumper has I think it's almost 50, maybe 40% more XP than Regis has, even though they've been doing the same. John Walker also close to 4 stars, and Lacana's trailing the same way. So it's kind of funny. I think it must have to do with you get a lot more XP if you come up with a really good roll when you play when you have AA. Yeah, the level bombers, who cares? They went to maximum, and the fighters are close. Sorry, the Stukas are close to maximum, all of them, and the fighters are not going to have any difficulties at all. So that's the highly imbalanced XP gains on the air units and on artillery. Let's have a look at the prestige curve. You can see that we are, for Rommel-Manstein-Field Marshal, we are now showing that we are distinctly below the Rommel curve, the one we had at Rommel, which is we're not. I don't think we're paying more for casualties here, but we're maybe overstrengthening more. Yeah, we definitely are overstrengthening more, and we're also not. So our soft cap is probably a little bit worse than it was on Rommel, but we are also not maybe farming as much as we did on Rommel, and we are not in every battle capturing every objective the way we did on Rommel. And I think those in accumulate. So when you accumulate these, we get that we are just below. We are around 10,000 below Rommel. It's not a concern. You can see when I went here around here at Rommel, I said to hell with it, and we said we don't care anymore about the soft cap. I should be able to do roughly the same, but maybe a little bit later, somewhere around maybe return to Kishinev will be where we stop caring about the soft cap, hopefully, because that's going to be a tough battle. That was it for the introduction. I am working on preparing the first battle in 1943, and I hope to see you in that battle.